Hello and welcome to this Legal Futures webinar entitled GDPR Update Autumn 2020. My name, as you can see, is Keith Markham and I'll be your presenter for this particular session today. As always, let's begin by having a look at the agenda for this session. So we will begin by talking about the recent decision of the European Court of Justice in the Schrems II case. We will see what the court had to say in respect of the EU-US Privacy Shield and also the issue of standard contractual clauses, and then we'll go on to think about what changes you need to make in the light of that. We'll also then go on to talk about how could we possibly ignore it as it gets ever closer, the niceties of Brexit and what you need to do to prepare for that. So obviously Brexit has happened, as we know. However, the transition period is due to end at the end of December 2020. So we'll talk about the changes you need to make with regard to that. We'll then go on to talk about our next topic, which will be very brief because there's practically nothing to say about this, which is the EPrivacy Regulation, which largely sits somewhere in Brussels at the minute and nobody really knows what's going on. I'll give you a little bit of an update on that. Then we'll talk about data subject access requests. We've got two quite interesting cases with regard to issues around the discretion of the courts to order disclosure of information and also issues around the meaning of relevant filing system under the old rules, which still has a degree of relevance for us today. We'll then move on to talk about something called the accountability framework. You will know that one of the buzzwords of the GDPR is indeed accountability, and there's been some guidance produced by the ICO in terms of practical steps, and there's even a self-assessment tool with regard to that, and we'll go through that briefly. I'll give you some links to go away and investigate further if you would like. We'll then briefly, very quickly, look at one or two trends from the ICO's annual report, but we'll then go on to talk about COVID-19 and enforcement. And we've also had a very recent development in terms of enforcement generally to do with the British Airways, what was a notice of intent finally leading to a monetary penalty